Hello wine lovers and the wine curious out there. I'm Renee Sferrazza and this is your 10-minute tasting. We are going to be diving into these 5 great bottles today. I'm going to get into how they taste, what they'll pair with, and why you should give them a try at home. This is your 10-minute tasting for Bodegas Piqueras, so just give me 10 minutes of your time. Let's get started, and I have to say, you have to stay until the end because on our last wine, I have a very special announcement for it. But let's kick it off. All of these wines are a story of Bodegas Piqueras. It's a family with a terroir and a tradition that expresses the Dio of Almansa in Spain. Now, you might have not heard of the Dio Almansa before. It's practically in the center of Spain, and it's really well known for being an arid, dry place with low fertility soils, and it's where grapes kind of suffer to grow. You know, this sounds like a bad place to grow grapes, but let me tell you, grapevines love a challenge and they love a little bit of suffering because they make great wines in the process. And that's the story we're telling with this family in the glass. The patriarch of the Piqueras family, Luis, started the winery in 1915, and ever since, Bodegas Piqueras has grown in size and notoriety in Spain. It's now on its 4th generation of winemaking, and each and every single one of the wines that I have with me here today, all 5 in this 10-minute tasting, have a story behind them. So, you know what? Let's get into it. This is the Castillo de Almanza Organic Verdejo and Sauvignon Blanc blend. It's one of the wines from Bodegas Piqueras that has made it to more than 45 countries around the world. It's an amazingly quaffable white wine that's a blend of 60% Verdejo and 40% Sauvignon Blanc. It also spends 3 to 4 months with lees aging. So let's get into the aromas of this wine. There are beautiful notes of apple, some crisp lemon in there. You also get some earthy notes of like hay, but at the same time from that lees aging, there's beautiful almond notes coupled with minerality. Let's get on to the palate. On the palate, this wine is incredibly mineral driven, has a brightness of acidity. It's crisp and easy on the palate, but it has a niceness, almost like a bitter finish. This is a great wine with salads and fresh foods, and it's a great way to start off a night. This is the Abuelo Verdejo and Sauvignon Blanc blend, and on the label itself you can see Luis Piqueras. He is the grandfather of this family after 4 generations, and El Abuelo means grandfather as well. So we have a blend here of 65% Verdejo and 35% Sauvignon Blanc. The main difference between the former wine is that these grapes are from 20 to 25-year-old vines. So we're having a lot more confidence in the glass is what I predict. Let's get into the aromas. And the confidence we have, there's more florality in here, brightness of citrus notes, little bit of fennel and spice to this wine as well, and some great rocky minerality on the nose. Let's get onto the palate. On the palate, this wine has a lot more weight to it. It's bright, there's a tingling between the minerality and the acidity across the tongue. And because of that weightiness, it's gonna pair amazingly with grilled fish dishes like salmon or light meats like chicken, but you can also do it with some great vegetarian dishes as well. This is the El Abuelo Tempranillo and Monastrell blend. It is the red wine counterpart to the white wine we just had. Now, this wine is a blend of 70% Monastrell and 30% Tempranillo. Tempranillo might be the most well-known grape in Spain, but Monastrell happens to be one of the most well-loved. And they even grow both these grapes in Dio Almanza, so you get a different terroir expression of these 2 grapes with this wine. Let's get into the aromas. There's beautiful dark spice notes in here. You get almost this dry earthiness texture coming out of the wine, but at the same time, there's dried fruits, lots of red fruit like cherry, a little bit of red currant as well, and some wonderful toasted oak notes. Let's get onto the palate. On the palate, this is a red wine that has these really rustic tannins, a brightness of acidity, and this really vivacity going across the tongue. It is a great wine for a barbecue moment, perfect for the summer sunshine that you can pair with both meats, fish, and grilled veg. This is the Castillo de Almanza Reserva. It is a blend of Monastrell, Grenache Tintorera, and Tempranillo. Now, when you see Reserva on a label, that means that this wine has a lot of intention behind it, because Reserva is a highly regulated term in Spain that means that there's more aging going into it. Not only is this wine made from 3 grapes from bush vines, which are 45 to 65 years old, each and every single one of them is vinified into their own wine, which is aged for 9 to 12 months in stainless steel before it is crafted into a wine with the blend of all 3. It is then aged in 12 months in American oak barrels, and finally it goes through bottle aging for 9 to 12 months. This is all before it hits this glass. So you can see there's tons of intention in this wine. That being said, let's give it a taste and a smell. From the aromas alone, you can really see the harmony of this wine. There's an earthiness to it. There's red fruited notes in here, a little bit of florality. You also have toasted coconut in there. It is just such a wine to nose for days. Let's get on to the palate. On the palate, the moment this wine hit my tongue, I felt the harmony and the unity of it. There is a dance between its tannins and its acidity, and it just has such a long finish. This is a complex wine that can go with many different dishes that have the same level of complexity. You want to grill up or cook up a really good steak, this is the wine for you. You want to have a really complicated mushroom dish, this is what goes with it. Or if you're a fan of game meats, you should be looking at this wine. I told you to hang around until the last wine, and we are finally here. This is the Piqueras VS, an absolutely amazing wine that has just gotten released. You can really just find this wine on wine store shelves now. It's a special vintage release, and just follow the links down below to find out where to get it yourself. All right, let's dive into this guy. This wine, again, has so much intention and care behind it. It is a 50-50% blend of Monastrell and Grenache Tintorera. It is done in stainless steel and American oak aging, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that goes into this wine. All right, let's give it a taste and a smell. For the aromas, there are these beautiful dark fruited notes. Black cherries, plums, a little bit of regular cherries in there, those bright red cherries, and bright red currants as well. There's a lot of pepper, white peppery notes, dark pepper, earthen characteristics, and toasted notes as well. Honestly, I could be nosing this wine all day long. Let's get on to the palate. On the palate, this is a wine with a ton of structure. There are deep sinking tannins in it that just build across the palate. A wonderful acidity is in there to be the backbone of this wine as well. And you have an amazingly full and deep finish. This is the wine that you decant at the beginning of your meal and you serve at the end with such great pride. It is a perfect wine to finish off that main course and to just lead you into the rest of the night. Always here to be your sommelier. This was the Bodegas Piqueras 10-minute tasting. Every single wine that we've tasted today has a story behind it, an expression of terroir, a beautiful expression in the glass. And I really want to hear from you guys as well. Click down below to find out where to get the wines. Tell me what you thought about all of the wines that we tried today, and let me know what you would pair with them. This has been such a wonderful 10-minute tasting, exploring this beautiful wine family and the story behind their wines.